Hello, and welcome to the Child Welfare Capacity Building Center for States Training of Trainers Child Welfare Response to Child and Youth Sex Trafficking Part 2 conference call. Today's call is being recorded. Before we begin, I would like to turn it over to Christy Stankovich of the Center. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon or good morning wherever you're calling from today. I'll just be going over a few housekeeping items. As the operator noted, this webinar is being recorded. This webinar is also interactive and will feature some polling and some short answer questions. You'll notice in the right-hand side of your screen, you have a handouts pod, which you can access the single handout today. If you have any technical difficulties, you can email my colleague Meredith Pachilli at icfi.com, also noted in your participant chat. The Center for States is pleased to offer CEUs or continuing education units for this session. To qualify for CEUs, please ensure that you log in the beginning of the webinar and log out at the end. If you experience any technical problems during the presentation, feel free to also type in the chat. Following this presentation, you'll receive an email with a webinar evaluation and CEU link. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Jennifer Marcelli of the Center.
Hi, thank you so much, and welcome everybody to our webinar today. We appreciate you guys all joining for the release of our Sex Trafficking Part 2 learning experience. So I'm going to quickly go over the introductions for the day. You'll hear from myself. I'm Jennifer Marcelli. I'm the Program Area Manager for the focus area related to PL 113183. You'll also hear a lot from Brenda Lockwood today. She's the lead curriculum developer, Sex Trafficking curricula, and then Hung Fo, who is the lead evaluator for this learning experience. So before we get started into going over the learning experience, I just wanted to give a brief overview of the Child Welfare Capacity Building Collaborative and the Center for States. So in October of 2014, the U.S. Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families Children's Bureau awarded ICF International with a contract to establish this new Child Welfare Capacity Building Collaborative, which we the collaborative. So the Center for Tribes and the Center for Courts all partner together to form the collaborative, and it consolidates services that were previously provided by the National Resource Centers. And this consolidation increases coordination, leverages resources, and provides more strategic service. The collaborative's goal is to work with partners and jurisdictions to support capacity building that will lead to improved outcomes for children and families.
The collaborative builds capacity in systems, organizations, and individuals to drive child welfare program improvement. Icons show a mom and her child, two dads and their child, and a mom and a dad and their two children.
On the next slide, you'll see that the collaborative, we do this by partnering with states, territories, tribes, and courts to identify, design, and implement innovative solutions that meet the unique needs of each jurisdiction. So the Center for States, on the next slide, you'll see aims to provide evidence-based capacity building support, services that provide improved performance and support states and territories in effectively initiating, implementing, and sustaining change. And really to achieve this goal, the Center works with its partners to create and deliver coordinated, inclusive, and well-informed capacity building services. And one of the ways in which we do this is to assess agency needs and develop individual solutions for the center. And on the next slide, you'll see we do this using 5 categories or dimensions of capacity to guide approach. And on the screen, you'll see those 5. They're resources, infrastructure, knowledge and skills, culture and engagement, and partnerships. And the Center for States serves state and territorial public child welfare agencies and Title IV-E waiver demonstration jurisdictions.
A map of the United States showing the 9 child welfare service regions designated by the Administration for Children and Families and the Children's Bureau.
And ICF supports the Center for States, where Maggie Bishop is our executive director, and you might recognize ICF International from its work on Welfare Information Gateway, as ICF has a long history of working on technical assistance contracts with the Children's Bureau and other agencies. And the Center for States is designed to support the Children's Bureau's vision of providing strategic evidence-informed to really build the capacity of state and territorial public child welfare agencies. And the center, as I've stated on previous slides, really supports child welfare agencies in effectively initiating and sustaining change, and really with a focus on innovation. And our goals, as I stated on some previous slides, are really to improve system, organizational, and program performance, and significantly enhance safety, permanency, and well-being of children, youth, and families. And our approach is really an evidence-based capacity building services for the child welfare field. And finally, I'm just going to through our categories of service, and we are organized into 3 categories. There's universal services, constituency services, and tailored services. And each of these areas aim to fulfill the needs of child welfare professionals and organizations, as well as support them in their goals.
Another map of the United States showing locations of services.
The universal services really promote engagement among a broad nationwide audience of state and agency professionals, much like you say. The Universal Services team does this by developing and providing resources, tools, and products like this learning experience. The center's constituency services include also learning experiences and peer networking opportunities that are aimed at a target of individuals or professional cohorts. And then finally, we have tailored services, which provide direct capacity building support to state agencies and territories focused on capacity building and implementation efforts.
Tailored services also include needs assessment assistance for states and territories.
So now I'm going to turn it over to Brenda Lockwood, who is going to go through this great learning experience, and I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you. Brenda?
Thank you, Jennifer. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. It looks like some folks were having a little bit of difficulty with the audio, so hopefully we've gotten that figured out. We'll just move on, and just wanted to add a quick reminder that if you have any questions throughout the remainder of the session, you can go ahead and type your questions into the chat feature, into the participant chat pod, and we will get to those questions. I'll also be asking some questions throughout the session, and we'll want your feedback, and so that's where we will ask you to type your feedback in response to the questions that I have for you. So keep the participant chat frame or pod open so that you can utilize it during the session. So again, my name is Brenda Lockwood, and I work with the constituency services at the Capacity Building Center for States, and I am the lead curriculum writer for this curriculum, and worked with a couple of subject matter experts. Amber McDonald is one of our subject matter experts, and Melissa Snow was the other subject matter expert that helped really pull together the content for this curriculum. So for today, what we want to cover is, or what we want to make sure that we do is provide you with some understanding about how to access the curriculum, the materials and resources, give you some brief background on the content for each module, and identify the key learning points for each of the modules, and then provide you with some information about the evaluation that is available to this curriculum. So going on to the next slide, we do have a polling question for you. So you'll just need to click yes or no for this polling question, and it would just help me out to know if folks have had an opportunity to look at the materials yet for participating today.
In response to the question, about 8% say yes and about 92% say no.
It looks like a few of you have had an opportunity to look at the material, which is good. So again, in a minute, we'll provide an opportunity to show you how to navigate to the site to find the curriculum materials and how to download that information. So let's do just that. So for this particular curriculum, there are 3 distinct modules. There's Module 1, which is the Intake and Investigations curriculum, which is really focused on folks who work in intake and investigations. Module 2, which is for the ongoing services units, and 3 for caregivers.
Module 1 is 3 hours long, Module 2 is 3 hours long, and Module 3 is 2 hours long.
So these modules really are, they are Part 2 to the Children's Bureau's package of training curriculum related to the Child and Youth Sex Trafficking Laws, PL 113-183. We launched Part 1 back in December. Some of you may have participated in that webinar, or maybe are currently using those curriculum materials. So these modules will help enhance that training, and you can use them as a standalone training, or perhaps an advanced training for your staff. So let's see. The other element of these particular curriculum modules, which I think is really the most significant aspect of these curriculum, is that we have woven through each of the modules, some video clips that provide really important information about skills and strategies for engaging with child and youth survivors of sex trafficking. We really encourage you, and we'll have an opportunity to look at one of the videos, or just a brief, a few minutes of one of the videos. We really encourage you to, if you are training the curriculum, if you're the one that will be facilitating training, really encourage you to watch all of the videos that are available, so that you can craft some questions perhaps, or some discussion points for your audience that you will be training. So just keep that in mind as you prepare yourself to deliver these curriculum. So with each of the modules, each module will provide you with a curriculum guide, handouts, and videos. And so we'll navigate to the site in a moment so you can see where to and how to download that content for yourselves to use in your agencies. So we're going to, Christy, my right hand gal for this webinar, is going to help us get to the training, to our learning management system. So Christy, if you could navigate us to the site. So to access materials, you'll want to go to the Capacity Building Center's website at capacity.childwelfare.gov/states/. And when you get to that page, you'll see a series of tabs in the blue header there at the top of the page, and you'll want to click on the Learn tab. And once you click there, you'll get to our Learning Management System homepage, where you'll see our course catalog. And within that course catalog, you will want to identify the training that you're looking for. You see on the screen here, we have several available. And so there's Part 1 you see on the left side there. And you can, I won't have you click there yet, Christy, but just to point that out. That's Part 1. That was the initial training curriculum that we launched in December. And so here's Part 2. So in order to access materials, you'll click on this link, or click on this tab.
To access the resources and training materials, visit the Child Welfare Capacity Building Collaborative website at https://capacity.childwelfare.gov and click on the Learn tab. Next, log in to CapLearn or register if you are a new user. To access this session, click on Child Welfare Response to Child and Youth Sex Trafficking, Part 2.
If you have not already done so, you'll need to register for login information to access the materials. So I don't know if that's the next Are you going to navigate to that page, Christy, to the login page, or the registration page, I should say?
So I have a screenshot of the registration because I'm already a registered user, so I can navigate back to that in just a second after the demo.
Okay, so we'll navigate back to the registration page so we can take a look at it. So once you've registered, you can go in and download the materials. And so the first thing you'll see here on the landing page is just a description of the course. And then you will be able to, what we want to do, Christy, is really click on probably Module 1. That will be fine. So you can see all of the materials that are available. So you'll click on each of the icons. So if you wanted to download the curriculum, you click there. And what you'll see is the curriculum guide. So you'll download that. And then you'll want to click on each of the other tabs or the icons. So for the handouts and the PowerPoint and the videos. This is what the handouts will look like. And the PowerPoint presentation. And then the videos. And we'll show a video here in a minute. But just a quick note to say that we've provided the materials so that you can go in and customize them for yourself so that you can make them more relevant to the audience that you are training. So we encourage you to go in and add whatever information or take away whatever information to make it more relevant for your agency or for your audience. So let's see. Are we going to be able to show one of the videos? Or just a brief clip of a video, Christy?
Unfortunately, since our audio is not bridged with voice over IP, we're unable to show it, but we can actually navigate folks to know where the videos are located.
Oh, okay. Do you want to do that? So just for folks on the phone, we were hoping to be able to show you a video, a clip from one of the videos, but it sounds like we're not going to be able to do that now. So what you'll do is, while you're on this screen, when you're downloading all the other content, the handouts, PowerPoint, the curriculum guide, you will want to also download the videos, which will be available through those icons there on the page.
Audio description versions of the videos are also available for download.
Are you going to be able to do that, to just show them? No.
Yes, they're huge files, so they are currently downloading in my screen, as you see on the lower left here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So something to keep in mind for folks on the phone is that, they're going to be big files, so it may take a few minutes for you to be able to download all of the data that comes along with them. So, well, maybe we'll just move on. I think we'll just have to leave it at that and point out that you'll need to download the videos, each of them separately, I believe. So, Christy, when you clicked on the download tab, did that start downloading all of the videos for you, or just did you have to go in and okay? So you just download them and they all download at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there is a really quick, brief. Here's where you find them. So you navigate to our site, go to the Learning Management System, and download all the materials. Okay. All right, so I'm going to turn things over to Hung so that, maybe we wanted to look at the registration page.
A screenshot of the registration page.
So here's what the registration page will look like. If you don't already have an account or login information for our site, when you go to our Learning Management System, so that Learn tab, you will need to create register yourself to use the system. Any other information that they need to know about this particular page, Christy? Create an account.
I can just refer back to the previous slide, which is what you noted with the link, but that is all for the registration.
Okay, great. All right, so we're going to move on to the evaluation slides and turn things over to Hung, which Yeah. So,
All right. Thank you, Brenda. Good morning or afternoon, everyone. My name is Hung Fo, and I'm with the Center's evaluation team. I'm going to spend about 5 minutes talking about the evaluation, so please stay with me. I'm going to try and make evaluation as exciting as possible. I know in some circles that is tough to do, but here at the Center, we are totally committed to supporting this center to be a learning organization on the evaluation team. And to do this, we really need to learn more about learning experiences such as we really want to better understand if the learning experience is effective. We want to better understand people are sort of experiencing the products and services that they're interacting with in order that we can really improve the products and services that we deliver to you. So for this learning experience, there is a 2-part evaluation that we would like to ask you to participate in. Part 1 of the evaluation you can see on your screen is really an evaluation of your satisfaction with the curriculum. So it's you as the trainer, you as the program director or manager, the person who is responsible for administering this training program. We would really like to better understand sort of how relevant the curriculum is to you and your agency, and really any suggestions you have for improvement as well. And then the second part, which I'm going to talk about on the next slide, is really better understanding the actual impact of the curriculum. So the one thing I should mention is when Christy was on the screen where the learning experience was, you may have noticed that there is a survey that you can take when you're on the landing page of the learning experience. It says, take the survey. It's like this huge button that's underneath the title. So that's one way as a trainer or a program developer that you can provide some feedback to us. So that's sort of part of the evaluation. Part 2, really, you can get access to in the actual download of the curriculum itself. So if you download all of the materials of the curriculum, one of the things that you will get is sort of a series of documents called the evaluation package. You can also get a preview of the guide document if you go to the test/evaluation preview. That gives you sort of a 2 to 3 page sort of explanation of the evaluation package. And essentially it has detailed instructions how to administer the instruments. In that package, what we've included are web-based instruments that you as the trainers or program developers use. And the great thing about these instruments is, one, they're already created, so we've created pre- and post-testing so that you can administer to your trainees as you take this curriculum, you adapt it, and then you can administer these evaluation instruments. The second benefit in using sort of the web-based is that we will provide you with the analysis and the reports of the results. So, and this will include not only information about how your trainees did from pre to post training, but also any feedback that they have for the trainers as well. So we've included lots of questions in there about the effect of the trainers, the delivery, sort of their knowledge and skill in the training environment. So because the curriculum is, you're able to adapt the curriculum, we also have an option where you don't want to use the web-based instruments. Essentially what you would do is take the link that we've provided in one of those documents and sort of send that to trainees. If you don't want to use that, you can also use hard copies that you can provide during the training. And if you want to use that, and then certainly you can sort of adapt that. The only downside to that is that we would not be able to provide results if you used a hard copy version. So that's part 2 of the training evaluation. And then on the next slide includes some information about myself. So one of the things that we'd like to do as well, and we've been doing this with some other agencies for the first sex trafficking learning experience, is really reaching out to participants. So I may be in touch with some of you who are participating in this webinar, really to get a sense of where you and your agency are in implementing the curriculum, and then I ask for your participation in some of these evaluation activities. At any time, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, Hung Fo, at hung.pho@icfi.com or .com. So thank you again for being a part of today's webinar, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from you all and getting your feedback on the curriculum. Brenda, I'm now going to turn things back to you, and appreciate the time.
Great, thank you, Hung. Yeah, the evaluation is really an important piece of this for us to be able to continue to improve and create learning experiences that are going to be meaningful for the field. So please do consider participating in the evaluation. I did see just a moment ago a question come through on the participant chat to just restate the website, and I will do that. It is capacity.childwelfare.gov/states/. And you'll be able to access both Part 1 curriculum and this curriculum on that same website. Okay, so let's just take a moment to sort of review the overarching goals of the Preventing Sex Trafficking and Strengthening Families Act, otherwise known as PL 113-183. So the overarching goals for this training curriculum, anyway, is to provide a comprehensive plan, or to be part of a comprehensive plan by the Children's Bureau to develop an array of capacity building resources that support effective implementation of PL 113-183. So Part 1 curriculum, the Child Welfare Response to Child and Youth Sex Trafficking, was created to help build knowledge and awareness for participants regarding the provisions of the legislation and the unique needs of survivors of sex trafficking. So this curriculum, Part 2, aims to translate some of that knowledge and awareness into skill development. So we've really tried to create a curriculum here where you can do some skill building with participants. So the overarching goals of these training modules related to PL 113-183 are really to increase skills related to engaging child and youth survivors of sex trafficking, to help create changes in culture and climate to reflect increased commitment to focus on sex trafficking, and enhanced engagement and partnerships to address PL 113-183.
The final overarching goal is to improve infrastructure, including changes in policies and procedures related to the processes for identifying and screening youth who are victims of sex trafficking.
So again, both of these training curriculum really are intended to help support the implementation of this legislation. We can move on to the next slide. So we're just going to do a brief walkthrough of each of the modules. There's 3 modules in this curriculum package that are available for you with specific focus for each audience. Let's see, so if we can go on to the next slide. Just a word about the curriculum guide itself, which you will find on our website. So each curriculum guide provides discrete units. So you'll see as you look at the curriculum guide that there, for example, in the ongoing services provision module, there are 5 separate units. And again, we really hope that you'll go in and look at the units and adapt them and customize them so that they're relevant for your particular audience. Each of the curriculum guides provides identification of the materials that you'll need to successfully facilitate each module. And we also provide step-by-step talking points so that you can, provide the training, with the knowledge base provided in the curriculum guide. So I wanted to just refer to the handout. You'll see in the handouts pod that it's available for download. And it is really meant to be sort of a desk reference at a glance for you to utilize so that you can, get yourself prepared, I guess, to deliver the curriculum. So I'm going to use this handout, the at a glance handout, to help walk through each of the modules and the key learning points. So the first module is for intake and investigations, and again, so that as the title says, it's for folks who are doing that initial intake element or aspect of child welfare casework, and it's intended to help participants understand and describe effective identification, documentation, reporting, and service delivery for children and youth under the Child Welfare Agency's care and supervision who are victims or at risk of becoming victims of sex trafficking. Key learning points for this particular module are for participants to understand which factors increase the vulnerability of survivors and how to maintain their safety. For participants to gain knowledge of effective tools and approaches to engage survivors of child sex trafficking, and to develop the ability to utilize effective approaches to engage survivors of sex trafficking during the intake and investigation process. So, as I mentioned, there are videos that are available, and I wanted to note that the videos, the content of the videos really focuses on skill building and how to approach the work in each of these deliver areas, whether it's investigations or ongoing services or foster care providers. And the presenter in the video is Amber McDonald, and she is a licensed clinical social worker who has conducted research that focuses on the factors contributing to domestic minor sex trafficking and self-narratives of youth involved in sex trafficking. She's worked for more than 10 years with children who have experienced sexual exploitation, and in the video she shares her expertise around engaging children and youth who are victims of sex trafficking. So each curriculum module has a specific video that goes with it, and each of the curriculum guides provides discussion, questions, and suggestions for how to utilize the videos within the training module. So with this unit, Module 1, Intake and Investigations, it is broken down into 5 different units. It's a 3-hour curriculum. If you added additional content, obviously it would go over that amount of time. So it's 5 separate units, and with this module there are 4 handouts that accompany the curriculum guide, handouts for participants. We have a couple of different types of activities that get participants really thinking about how to interact and how to engage with youth who they may encounter, who have experienced sex trafficking. And I also wanted to point out, again, we strongly encourage customization of the materials, and we did provide on the at a glance handout some links to different additional handouts or additional content that you could include if it's relevant, which it likely is relevant for, or if it's particularly salient for your audience. The next module is Module 2. Let's to the next. Oh, sorry, I have a question here. So when you think about your staff who do intake and investigations in particular, what challenges do your staff face when engaging child and youth survivors currently? And if you could use your chat feature to respond to that question, it'd be great. What challenges are they currently facing in engaging this population?
Audience answers begin appearing on screen.
Youth are closed off, yes. They're reluctant to speak with you. And I do believe that Amber, our presenter in the videos, does address that issue. Obviously, the degree of trauma, how much to probe, what questions to ask, and that is definitely something Amber addresses in the video. Not enough training for staff. So hopefully these modules will help with that. Availability of trauma-informed services can be a real challenge.
Challenges cited by respondents also include youth who don't identify as victims, investigations that have time deadlines to complete, identifying children affected in intact families, children who don't want to be in placements once located, staff fears of what to ask or not ask, or unsure how to engage.
And I do think that throughout the videos, Amber does mention different ways of collaborating and partnering with agencies within your community to help provide those trauma-informed services or create them. So it sounds like a need for developing knowledge and training for staff. Youth running away. So lots of challenges. And again, seeing your comments to this question, I feel reassured that we focused on the right things in the videos, or at least Amber did, focused on the right things. So as you watch the videos, you'll hopefully be able to start gleaning some new ways of approaching your work that will address some of these challenges that you're currently facing. Okay, great responses, you guys. We really appreciate it. Okay, they're still coming at us. These are great comments. Difficulty finding qualified clinical providers to meet needs of youth. Okay. So thanks for the responses to that. I think we're going to move on, and I appreciate everyone's input. And like I said, I do feel that, as you see the videos and the comments that Amber has and the expertise that she shares, I'm hopeful that you'll be able to maybe take some of that information and start addressing some of these challenges. So thank you. I think we'll move on to the next one. The next slide, so the next unit. Thank you, everybody, for your responses. So Module 2 is aimed at our ongoing services staff. And the key learning points for this particular module are for participants to understand the unique needs of survivors of sex trafficking and how to engage them, to develop the skills and ability to recognize survivor strengths and use those strengths to help develop their case plan, and then understand how to connect with survivors to culturally appropriate and supportive services. All three very important elements of ongoing work with this population. If you have downloaded the At a Glance handout, you'll see that this particular module is broken down into, again, five different units. It is also 30 minutes long. We have the video actually that goes along with this particular module is longer than what we included. So there are options for including additional clips from the video. We also suggest the use of a video called What Are Pronouns, which is a great way to help facilitate discussion early on in the training around checking our biases. And then we also, again, encourage you to customize this module as well. Again, the links that we provide at in the intake and investigation section of this handout really are relevant to all three of these modules. So we really encourage you to customize where appropriate. And with this particular module, there are 4 handouts, and one of them being an activity that really has participants work with a youth named George and practicing ways to be survivor-centered in how we approach our work with them. So again, 5 units, 3 hours. You can extend that time if you include some of the optional videos for this module. So our question for this unit is, we would like you to use your chat feature. So we know that there's already good work and good services being provided to child and youth survivors in the field, and so we're curious to know what strategies your ongoing services staff use when engaging survivors currently. Use your chat feature to respond to our question. That would be awesome. People are typing. We're just waiting for the comments to come through. We know that there's a lot of great work that is going on out there. And again, with the video, Amber will provide some great ideas for strategies, and some of the handouts will also support the videos and the suggestions that Amber makes in the videos around different strategies that folks can utilize. So Treasurer Montana says that one strategy that staff are using is to meet their immediate needs first before going on into an investigation. Absolutely. The food, clothing, medical needs, etc. Really attending to those needs, really key to, one, to the engagement with the staff, but also to help support the sense of safety for them as well. Get to know them first, create a safe connection, absolutely. Normalizing their experience. For example, that sounds like a really rough spot you were in. Sometimes kids in that position have to do things they didn't want to do, or you made to do something you didn't want to do. I like that. That's a great strategy to just really normalize the experience for them in that way. Yeah, absolutely. Building trust, creating relationships. Absolutely. All great examples of ways of engaging survivors. And again, I think that as you watch the videos, Amber will provide you with some additional strategies, ways to ask questions, ways to approach youth that will draw them in versus push them away. She also does provide some thoughts around self-care for staff, which I think is really important in all of the work that we do in child welfare, but in particular around this issue. She has some great ideas for how staff can take care of themselves when they're engaging with kids and youth who are survivors of sex trafficking. One more, working and collaborating with a nonprofit organization, Doors to Freedom, that specializes in working with youth survivors of sex trafficking. Awesome. So you're working in partnership with a community organization that sounds like it's really specialized in working with this population. So all great strategies. Hey, thank you for your input into that question. Let's move on to looking at number 3. So module 3 is for caregivers, for foster care providers, kinship care providers, people who are providing care for this population. The key learning points here for this module are really for caregivers to understand the unique needs of survivors and, again, how to engage them. We also aim to really help build skills and knowledge, the use of strategies to engage kids and youth, children and youth who are victims of sex trafficking, and also provide some opportunities in the training for practicing strategies on how to engage children and youth who are victims of sex trafficking. This module is 2 hours. It's a little bit shorter than the others. Again, there are opportunities for you to make it longer by including additional videos and additional content. We really, again, encourage you to do that. So if you look at the at-a-glance handout, this particular module only has 3 units. because it is only 2 hours long. 3 units and 3 different handouts that go along with it. We utilize similar activity in this unit related to practicing engaging with a youth. In this case, his name is George, and applying, having opportunities to practice applying the strategies that they will learn from Amber in the videos that are shared. So that is Caregiver Curriculum 3. And again, what I really encourage you to do prior to, and I'm sure you will do this anyways, but I'm going to repeat it, is I really encourage you to sit down and watch the videos so that you can really customize the questions or the debrief or the discussion for for your agency or the staff that you will be, staff and caregivers that you will be training. You know them and the needs that they have in relation to engaging with this population. So please feel free to adjust the curriculum materials as needed. And if you find if you do adjust the curriculum and include additional information and find that it's really rich, we would love to hear about it. So you can always provide feedback on our website about what you did to enhance these even more. And again, I'll say this, that these modules are intended to enhance the Part 1 curriculum, or you can use it as a standalone training opportunity for your staff. I also think that, and you'll see as you watch the videos, you could actually use it as sort of you could show the videos and use them as sort of an in-service training. I know in the agency I worked in, our agency offered them an in-service training once a month, and on a variety of topics. And I think that these videos would be really conducive to that, to show the video and then have some discussion as a large group around content within the videos. So let's move on to the next question on the next slide. So this question is, in what ways have you seen caregivers succeed in engaging survivors? We know that there's been some examples of great engagement already, even though it is a challenge. Some folks have been really successful at it. I wondered if you have any examples of ways in which caregivers have really done a great job of engaging survivors. We'd like to hear about it. Anyone? In the video, again, Amber will share specific ideas and strategies for caregivers to engage these youth. She provides a little some insight, I think, into sort of what kids who are in care, survivors who are in care are, what's going on in their minds and why they do the things they do, like run away from care, and how to really approach that with them. So I am hopeful that you'll find some usefulness in the videos and in the content for this module to really help support your caregivers in engaging with this population. I see that some people are typing, so we'll wait to see what the responses are. So Melinda says, foster parents I've worked with have made space for youth to participate in age-appropriate activities, returning some childhood to them. That's really important. It's really awesome to hear. I like that. Let them just be kids again. Approach children with love, forgiveness, and a non-judgmental attitude. Absolutely. With each of these 3 modules, these curriculums, we spend a little bit of time at the beginning having people sort of do a self-check, as I like to call it. Really thinking about how our biases and attitudes play a role or impact and influence how we engage with this population, and really the importance of making sure that our attitudes align with being able to create a safe space for these kids to be to just be kids again and to feel safe, be safe in our presence. So that's great. Any other last thoughts about what you've seen, how caregivers have succeeded already in engaging survivors? Okay, well then we'll move on. We're just kind of breezing right on through. Just another reminder for folks to, on the next slide, Christy, is, again, I've said it plenty of times already, but we really do encourage you to customize these materials. That's why we made them. It's part of the goal of the Capacity Building Center is to help you have the capacity to build capacity for your staff. And so one way we can do that is offer you curriculum that's already created and that you can just tweak to make it more meaningful for your particular audience. Okay, so we do have some questions. Oh, it is in PDF. Oh, yeah. Well, they were supposed to be uploaded as non-PDF versions, so we'll have to take a look at that. Thank you for letting us know. We'll have to figure that out. I don't know if any of my colleagues on the line, Christy or Eric, have any. We'll take that back. Thank you for letting us know that, Deborah, that they're in PDF because they need to be in versions that you can actually customize. So we'll take a look at that. So the best I can do, at least at this point, is to say stay tuned, and we'll see what we can do to address that. April had the question: do you think that the trainer curriculum for caregivers would be done as a webinar? You could. You absolutely could do it as a webinar. I don't see why not. If your webinar platform has the capability of showing video, then I would say yes. Yes, there is absolutely no reason why it couldn't be done as a webinar. The video is really key, a really important element of each of these modules. So again, it wouldn't work if you can't show video. Is there an at-a-glance for part 1? Yes, there is. Let's see. Christy, do you know if when they saved the recording from the POT for part 1, they also included the at-a-glance for part 1?
I can take a look right now and get right back to you. I don't know off the top of my head.
Otherwise, what I could do is, while we're talking, I can send it to you, Christy, and maybe someone can upload it to the handout. Would that work?
Yes, it definitely would. Thanks.
Okay. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to try and keep talking while I'm searching for it. Let's see. Somebody else had a question. What was the other one? Are there other questions? I'll ask my colleagues on the line. Are there other questions that I need to get back to? Oh, Melinda said that the curriculum she downloaded is in both PDF and Word. Thank you. Good. Awesome. That's good to know. I thought that we had agreed to upload them as a Word document so that it was, editable. So Deborah, you'll want to go back in and see if you can identify the Word document. Okay, let's see. Sorry, now I'm looking for this.
And Brenda, while you're searching, I just wanted to note that we had a question about the download all button, and we failed to demo that, but just to mention that I did hover over that download all button for Module 1, but you can do that for the full course up at the top. Great, thank you. Yeah, I kind of breezed through that section. So when you go to that page to download all the materials, you can download them one by one, download the curriculum guide, download the handouts, or you can just download everything all at once. It may take a little bit longer, but it would save you some time in sitting there and actually clicking on the buttons to download. Okay, so Christy, I'm going to email you this at a glance for part 1, and then you can upload it. You can have that. You can find it on my desktop again.
Okay, it's on its way to Christy. So, yeah, other questions? Any other questions about one slide entitled Training Evaluation? Oh, got it. Any other questions about the materials, about the content? We kind of breezed through it all. It went really fast. That's what you get when I feel unprepared. I just breeze right through things. Can we get a copy of your slides? Sure, I think so. Christy, do you have those available to? Do you have those available to upload as a handout by chance, Christy?
I can. We'll also be sending those out with the CEU and evaluation link for participants today as well.
Okay, great. Maybe that would be a better option. Any other questions? Okay, so I see that Christy has uploaded the handout, The Modules at a Glance, with Part 1. It's titled 2 Modules at a Glance, Final. That is actually for Part 1. To be as confusing as we could possibly be. So that will be the at a glance to that. And again, Part 1 is also customizable. It's much longer. The modules are much longer for that Part 1 because we really dig into the legislation and the implementation of the law, and then also things that supervisors and staff need to really consider when engaging with this population. And then this particular Part 2 then just enhances all of that content. So any other questions? And it looks like, thank you. She renamed it Part 1 Modules at a Glance. Thank you. That makes it a lot less confusing. So it sounds like, Paula, to answer your question, and for others, again, just to clarify, we will send out the slides with the email related to obtaining CEUs to be able to get that. So we can go on to the CEU slide, I think, Christy, next one. So the Center for States is pleased to be able to offer CEUs in connection with the webinars that we provide. And so if you're interested in receiving CEUs for social work, counseling, clinical psychology, or licensed marriage and family therapy, we encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity. So following this webinar, everyone that participated will receive an email with a link and instructions on how to apply for those CEUs. And we are also interested in your feedback. So you can provide feedback by responding to the email with the CEU instructions. Looks like someone else is typing a question. Any last questions before we sign off? That's less than 90 minutes. For Part 1, do supervisors and administrators need to take the Caseworkers course, or is it standalone? We strongly encourage them to take the Caseworkers course because the Caseworker module provides all the foundational information about implementation of the law. So you'll see if you look at the materials we have in there, a couple of different places that we really encourage people. I know it's a lot to ask, especially for administrators, to sit through a day-and-a-half training, but it would be well worth their while because, again, it is a foundational training. And then the supervisor and administrator curriculum does kind of build off of that. It's not that, if they didn't attend the caseworker one, that they would be lost in the supervisor training or in the administrator training, but we really do strongly encourage them to participate to just get some of that foundational information. No, not necessarily. Admins do not need to attend supervisor training. They could. I think it'd be pretty swell if they did, but they do not need to. And caregivers do not need to attend the caseworker training either. Yeah. So yes. Okay, so one or the other in addition to caregivers. Yes. So again, the Part 1 webinar is available, and you can watch that. So it's pretty similar to the one we just, kind of walked through, similar to what we did today, a little bit more in depth perhaps. Christy, is that the link? Did you provide the link? Or maybe you could provide the link again to where they can find Part 1? It will be on CapLearn or on the, on our website. So it'll be available there, so you could download that and watch that as well, or listen in on that as well. Any other questions? All right. So again, watch for an email about the CEUs and apply for those if that's relevant for you. We hope that you find some usefulness in these modules. We are pretty proud of them. Amber did a great job with the videos, and so we hope that you'll be able to really get some great new strategies and ideas and skills from them. So thank you. Thank you. Please let us know what you thought of today's webinar. Oh, yes, and Meredith just posted a link for comments, so thank you, Meredith.
The survey link was a posted feature during the day of the webinar, and the survey is no longer available.
All right, thanks, everybody. Thanks again for joining us today.
For more information, please visit the Capacity Building Center for States website at https:// capacity.childwelfare.gov/states.